guys, Linda Vater here. I promised to tell you the difference between Myrtle topiary and Eugenia topiary, though they are related. Eugenia is actually a genus within the family of Myrtle, and while they are related, there are some very practical differences. One is accessibility. Myrtle topiary tend to be rather difficult to find, and they're kind of pricey. The foliage on them is very dense, it's very fine. Both forms take really well to clipping, and so obviously are a good plant for creating topiary. But these are more difficult to find. If you want to know some sourcing information, you can go to lindavater.com and you can see where I find some of my own. Myrtle, however, are a little bit easier to find, at least in the summer months. I found this one at Walmart. I've seen them in garden centers. I've seen them at Lowe's, at Home Depot. I have seen them at my local nurseries. Unlike Myrtle, which you may only find at rather exclusive nurseries and maybe even florists. So accessibility is one issue. Price is another one. Again, Myrtles tend to be a lot more expensive than Eugenia. A third thing probably is size. Myrtles are typically available tabletop. They may be in one single ball form or double ball form, whatever. Eugenia, you can often find much larger, and I've got a number of them scattered throughout my front and backyards. I've got 3 large ones in the front, and I've got a couple in the back. Most of them are in pots, but they are really tall. Some of them as much as 5 feet tall. They might either be on one solid trunk or like this one, multiple balls in which have multiple spotlights of interest, but I've got them in both in the front and the back. One practical consideration for both is that they are not winter hardy, so you're going to have to bring them inside. So if you have a greenhouse, that's great. These smaller myrtles I tend to just bring inside. I put them in a dormer closet that gets really bright light, or out in my husband's office that has lots of natural light as well. The others I have to take to a friend's greenhouse because they're simply too large and I can't accommodate them. So a practical consideration again is making sure that you have them in lightweight pots that are easy to lift and transport from one place to another. Now, neither plant, the Myrtle or the Eugenia, want to be inside in the winter months. They're basically going to drop some leaves. They'll look a little bit anemic. They're not going to put on as much growth and not nearly as quickly. But you still want to make sure that they never dry out, because if they dry out, that can almost be instant death. You want to make sure that they stay adequately hydrated, that they have as best as you can give them good air circulation. And then when the temperature's warm in the spring and you bring them back home, which is always a happy day for me when I bring my large Eugenias back home, then they get the conditions that they need. They get good air circulation and they get stronger light. So there are some distinctions for you in between Myrtle topiary and Eugenia topiary. If you want more information on different kinds of plants that really lend themselves to the topiary form, then you might want to go to lindavater.com and check that out. I talk about boxwood and some other things. So there you go, what you requested, the difference between Myrtle and Eugenia.